Gen Z, even though they've had so much bad luck, they didn't get childhood. We took that away from them. We said, no free play, you'll be abducted. We shoved them onto social media before we understood what it was. COVID came along and ruined either their high school or their university experience. But at least they are the last generation of humans.
Hello, everybody.
Humans who went through childhood without their own army of servants. The next generation will be raised with so many servants, they will have no need to talk to people. They will have much worse social skills. They will not learn how to do hard things. This year, in 2024, we have to change our thinking about children and the internet, children and social media, children and technology. We have to change it this year.
I'm thrilled to be joined by return guest Dr. Jonathan Haidt, one of the most influential social psychologists of our time and the brilliant mind behind bestsellers like The Righteous Mind and The Coddling of the American Mind. In today's episode, we dive deep into the heart of his latest book, Anxious Generation, where we discuss the undeniable negative impact of social media on Gen Z and why they were hit hardest. We debate whether social media has any actual benefit to society and teach you ways to reclaim your attention and well-being in this hyper-connected world. Whether you're a parent, educator, or part of Gen Z yourself, this conversation is packed with valuable information and actionable steps. So get comfortable and let's dive into this eye-opening conversation with Dr. Jonathan Haidt. The Anxious Generation. I was born in 1989. Do I fall into this anxious generation?
No, you do not.
No,
do you
I've escaped.
If you were born in 1996, you and your age group is just different because you went through puberty on social media. You had a smartphone and probably Instagram when you turned 12 or 13, but you missed all that. You were born, I'm sorry, you said 85, you said?
89.
89. Mm-hmm. So you're sort of mid-millennial.
Yep.
You got to experience the best internet. Now, the older millennials, they got to see the transition from just having a stupid computer that can do like word perfect, that was and it can do some clumsy video games. And then the older millennials will share my memory of the first time you saw a web browser. So Alta Vista, you were 5 or 6 when Alta Vista came.
I was using it, Netscape, all that good stuff.
But you didn't know to be amazed.
True.
You were like,
this is the norm.
You can just, everything in the world is right here. Whereas, from, 5 million BC until 1994, the idea that you could just have omniscience, that was godlike power. So, the 90s was this incredibly techno-optimistic period. The Berlin Wall had just fallen. That didn't have to do with technology, but it was like democracy is ascendant.
Revolution.
Well, it was people power. Democracy is ascendant. Authoritarianism is going to die in Eastern Europe. And then a few years later, we get the internet. And then we're all like, wow, this is going to be the best thing ever for democracy.
I kind of wanted to start this. I didn't know if I should start with this video or the Kylie Jenner one. Have you guys heard all this drama about Kylie? I really should start with there because it's a little bit more wherever it went. Kylie Jenner. Kylie has been receiving some backlash from a lot of our what's her name? Shoot. Conservator, commentator, one of our girlies, 2 of them actually. Comment section with Brett. Leave it to me, okay? I'm listening to content just trying to get ideas. Just what pisses me off. Or what, not pisses me off, but what triggers me in some regard. Because usually that's my best content. But over the years, I've noticed how certain opinions will start one way. And then over time, it's I don't know if it would be poor to say almost narcissism, myself included. Okay, I'm not off the hook when I say those things. It's our narcissistic individual think we're giving the right new take on something. It's everybody switches their opinion and it follows the same sort of thing. I'll point it out when I pull up the video, but it's I don't think, do people even stop to think, like, maybe that wasn't nice. And I know I'm a rude bitch. Okay. I'm working on it. But sometimes, well, not but sometimes, I was actually going to say, when people say but, I don't like it. I don't like it. Or if they say, there's another phrase. It's like they say something and then they switch it. Or they justify it to fit whatever they think is the appropriate thing. And listen, all opinions are welcome. I'm not saying you have to have a certain opinion. I feel like the more we get into the new move on technology, which you're supposed to be more interconnected, people become more, I don't want to say judgmental. I can't think of a better word. It's like, I don't really. Judgmental, it doesn't hit it, okay? If you've been watching me for some time, I have gone back and forth about wanting kids, and I'm like, nah, I don't want them. Kylie Jenner has influenced me to want kids, okay? That says a lot. I do not watch them. It says a lot. I think we can hate on the Kardashians for their materialism, fake butt, whatever you like. What's her name? Chris, who looks like another leader. If you know, you know. But my point to that was like, you can't say that Kylie Jenner is a bad mom. You can't. Can you? You can't. It's like, they're all kind of annoying, but Kylie has a really good head on her shoulders. That chick's got lip filler. Whatever. But let's listen to what some Brett, comment section with Brett said about her. And then Amala, hey girl, how you doing? She also had a really interesting take. I'm only going to play Brett's though, just so we can get into the other video. But I hope I didn't poison the well. She means well. Okay. She means well. It's just there's something about it. And maybe I'll change my mind. No, I'm just kidding. I just got to re-download it kind of quickly. But remember when there was a time where it was so inappropriate to talk about what somebody looked like online? That wasn't that long ago. And maybe if you're not making content, even if it's like TikTok, Instagram, it's maybe not as obvious, but it's like, do we dehumanize people? Do you guys do you think celebrities deserve it? Deserve is a interesting word, but do you think that if you're a public figure, you should allow, I mean, what else can you do? Like, do you think you should put up with people's nasty comments? There was a time where it was like, take what they say with a grain of salt. Or how about don't? Call them out. Put them on blast. Be unhinged. I don't know. Sometimes, I was talking about it the other day when I was talking about this video we were going to do and how we were moving with technology. And it's like, how is Gen Z going to cope or operate or adapt in the new whatever? And I had brought up this concept of privacy. If you guys follow me on Substack, I actually just posted something about the 14th Amendment, Roe versus Wade, if you're into that stuff. Literally just posted it a few days ago. Okay, I'm back. But it got me thinking about privacy a lot, because I've been saying for kind of a while that the whole thing before, I don't want to go into politics, but the whole thing before had more to do with privacy than it had to do with babies. And I was like, I was like, well, how would Gen Z have to adapt in order for the internet and them to like merge? And it's like the only difference is that, and we'll hear about it in the second video, but it's like people who grew up playing outside and then got phones probably like 2010. Like I was in high school and we were like, when I was in high school, it wasn't right up to have your phone out anymore. I remember you had to like hide it during certain times. That's like, so you only used it in middle of class or in between classes or whatever. Like, no, we were young enough where that was just like out the door. And so because we had our brain developed, at least like our young intro to puberty brain, we developed coping skills, and we also developed the ability to self-regulate, to rely on yourself that the generations now don't have. And so we had what you would think of as privacy from the internet. And like my generation, millennials, 95 baby, I find that there's still a big proportion of people that struggle with the internet being so prevalent now. Oh no, did my camera go away? Oh no. Watch me just, okay, we're good. We're good. Sorry. Did I just like go in and out or just on my end? Cool. But I noticed with 95, I think we're considered the young millennials. Who cares? I've noticed that we struggled a lot with, I say we, but it's like we had the body positivity movement come out. We had love yourself at any size, same thing. We had the Dove commercials. They did a lot of research on anorexia, body dysmorphic disorder, by viewing like the internet. There was a lot of, maybe it just seemed like there was a spike. I honestly haven't looked at the graphs. I wouldn't know off the top of my head. But then we look at the generations before us, or I'm sorry, after us, and they're struggling. I know for a fact they have increased anxiety. He goes into it. We've all said that. It's like they don't talk to each other as much. So how do they adapt? How do they adapt? They're not going to have privacy. I feel like they're trying to operate with a little level of privacy. And like my generation and the older ones, we see it like, why the fuck are you talking? Why are you crying on TikTok? And it like makes sense to them. Sometimes I feel like an alien, but it's like, maybe that is the best way for them to function with the internet. It's like we're cyborgs looking for our other part. I don't know. But anyways, okay, did it download this Kylie Jenner video? Of course not. Could you imagine what a Gen Z would say to me right now? What do you think they'd say? What's like some of their lingo? I feel so old. Show us the fit. Show us the fit. I'll put this on while I get it.
And so the older millennials, like Mark Zuckerberg was born, I think, 1981. So the older millennials, they really grow up with the internet. They're learning computer programming. They learn hardware. They're taking apart computers. And so we're all like, wow, this computer and internet stuff, it's really good for the kids. Like, look, they're going to have amazing careers. And they did. They did.
Back to the comment section. I'm Britt Cooper. So when you guys think of modern beauty standards, the first people that obviously will come to mind are the Kardashians. For the last 15 years, maybe more, they have been the ideal that women have been driven to follow. But with that obviously comes criticisms and critiques, as it does for anyone in the public eye. But one sister, Kylie, seems to be regretting a lot of this. But in my opinion, it's too late to put the genie back in the bottle. Before we dive into this story though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and then ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section episode. All right, so the reason why we're talking about this now is because last week, Kylie went viral on X and on TikTok for breaking down on the Kardashians' new Hulu show about bullying and the way that people talk about her looks and the work that she's had done. Pop Base posted about this and said, Kylie Jenner cries over online comments regarding her appearance. Quote, "It's a miracle that I still have confidence and I can still look in the mirror and think that I'm pretty. I went on a journey last year dissolving half of my lip filler. Why do people think that it's okay to talk about me? I've never cried about this before, but I guess it does affect me. I hear nasty things about myself all the time. After 10 plus years of hearing about it, it just gets exhausting." And that post from Pop Base got over 43 million impressions. It went mega mega viral. Now, before we dive into any analysis and see why this is a bit dramatic and why she should take more responsibility for all of this, obviously, it sucks having people pick you apart and criticize you. And as a public figure, obviously, you know.
Did you guys catch that? Did you catch that? She should take more responsibility, but you know, it sucks to have people take you apart. Just like pay attention.
What you are getting into. You should know what you're getting into, and you have to choose to turn it out, but a lot of times that doesn't make it easier. And to Kylie's credit, she was pushed into this from a very, very young age. The original Kardashian show started when she was 8, 10 years old, something like that. Like, this is the only thing that she knows. And she is an adult now. She can make her own decisions. She could walk away from all of this, walk away from all of the attention if it gets too much, but it is so financially advantageous to her that I don't know if she ever would. And I also don't know if her family would ever let her, because Kris Jenner really manages all of them like a puppet. Anyway, back to the point. Although having people talk about your looks hurts, I think that Kylie is missing the point here. People aren't commenting on her looks or her face for no reason. They are commenting on them because she and her sisters have set the beauty standards for 2 entire generations. And this
people hate on Kylie Jenner and all of them on their little keyboards typing nasty things because they want to be them. On some level, they feel enough rage to feel compelled to say something. How did we get here? How did we get here? It gets worse. It's not even that bad at first glance. I don't know. The older I get, the more I see just how mean people are. And it's like, who cares, right? Who gives a fuck? But it's like, no, it does matter. It takes critical thinking. I don't know. Like, the more I get older and look at my old takes, I'm just like, ew. like that's so mean. Nobody deserves to be absolutely bullied online, especially when they wear less makeup at an event. Well, you set the standard. No, girl. At 17, I'm sorry, thinks I'm going to change the way girls look at themselves, and I'm going to get if they really paid attention to like how much influence they have like that, they probably wouldn't do it. And you're like, well, no, they would. It's like, you don't know that. I think a lot of times when you're 17 or you're even teenager, even in your 30s, it's me, 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 me. The only thing you can focus on is the negative stuff that comes your way and yourself. Am I good enough? Do I look good enough? Am I smart enough? It's like super insecurity, whatever. Like the last thing, well, you probably do take the public's perception into play. Like, oh, she's the ugly sister. She has no lips. Blah, 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 blah. So then you try to please them. And guess what happens? Women can't win. And you're like, Torrie, women. Men can't win either, okay? No one's doing well. But I say women can't win because do the right thing. People can only try to hate on the right thing for so long. You know what I mean? It's like if you're focused on yourself being the best mom, which she's had really good takes. I know we don't really talk about celebrities, but they'll go into it and stuff. It's like, why are you so miserable to pick on her? I don't know.
This comes with a massive responsibility that I don't think that they handled properly. I actually don't think I need to say that I think that they did not handle this properly. For years, they told audiences that they were all natural. They denied getting work done. They caused a spike in plastic surgeries and cosmetic.
I just want to say they did not claim to be all natural. They did not claim that.
Procedures because normal women were desperate to look like them. These are 2 generations of women dealing with literal psychological damage because of these insecurities and because of their attempts to look like the Kardashians.
Do you think it's... What do you guys think? Do you think it's the Jenners and the Kardashians' responsibility that people want to go under the knife and go through psychological distress to look like somebody? Like, we got to hold some responsibility for ourselves.
So as a result, many people in the comment section of that pop-based post, in the comment section of other video clips of her breaking down, were not happy. One woman commented and said, maybe if her and her family didn't spend decades perpetrating unrealistic beauty standards, she wouldn't have these issues. Another person said,
pay attention to all these comments. If you cannot fix something in 10 seconds, don't fucking say it, dude. It's like, seriously, if you're gonna criticize people like that, it's like, it's one thing, I guess it's one thing if you're gonna like show a video of them talking at like a length and stuff, but it's like you're going based off memory and your memory's flawed. Or mine is, and honestly, it could be. But like, I know for a fact that she never said she was natural. And the only reason why that's so forefront in my brain is because my best friend, who, rest in peace, passed away, me and her were starting a cosmetic company at the same time that the Kylie stuff launched. And so we were constantly like looking into her marketing tactics and stuff. I mean, we were 20, 21, but still, like, we were obsessed. Paige was more obsessed, if I'm being honest. I love makeup, but she loved the lip kits. It's similar to somebody that likes Pokemon cards or something that your favorite celebrity influencer or whatever puts out. And it's like they have a limited supply, so you got to get it. And you collect it. It's like collecting stuff. So I don't know.
Why do people think it's okay to talk about me? Because you flaunted unattainable.
No. I'm not against Brett Cooper. To be honest with you, she's very young. She's a nice girl, and I don't know if these are her real takes, if I'm being honest. I just think in this fast-paced environment, it's so quick to think you have the right take on something. And I'm just here to be like, we probably should be nicer. Maybe I'm just a bitch. Okay, maybe I have my period.
Beauty standards to a whole last generation of young people, and now you're crying? Girl, please. Facts. Again, they did this.
This whole episode today, if I didn't clarify, is all about why you need to be mindful to some degree of the content you post and the type of attitudes, because kids are watching and they can't shut it off like we used to be able to.
For years. This is what they peddled. So no wonder people are going to talk. Another person said, family forces themselves into the lives of every American for 10 plus years. Why do people think it's okay to talk about me? LMAO, are we being for real? Again, as a public figure, you know that you are opening yourself up to this. So act responsibly.
She was literally a kid. You know, she started that company before she was 18. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe she was 18. Let me check.
Tune it out when needed, because obviously there will always be trolls. But you know that you are putting yourself in front of people and they are going to have opinions, and it is their right to have opinions and talk about you, and that's okay. Now, the other thing that I found really
that doesn't follow logic. You can't say those two things.
Interesting that people have picked up on and that they are not willing to let go for good reason is the fact that Kylie's cosmetic work, specifically in regards to her lip filler, perfectly coincides with when she launched her makeup brand, Kylie Cosmetics, and launched the famous lip kit. And for those of you who do not know, the lip kit was like the thing from 2015 to 2017, maybe 2018. That was like...
She was 17 when that company started. And to be honest with you, I give a lot of criticisms when it comes to like startups in regards to cosmetics. She did really well. She kind of, to be honest, she was like a pioneer when it came to the influencing. She was like half influencer, half hybrid. I don't know. Definitely more A-list. Not A-list like she's an actress or something, but she's up there. It's not just like if I decided to go start a lip kit company, it's like, yeah, I have some following, but nothing like them, you know?
Kylie Jenner.
But she was 17 years old when she started that.
Heyday. Every girl desperately wanted her lips, desperately wanted her Kylie lip kit, wanted to look like her. They were willing to buy anything in order to look like her. So for context, Kylie Cosmetics was launched in 2014. The lip kit came out in 2015. So
did I? In 2014, Jenner and her mother, Kris, founded Kylie Cosmetics. Like, she founded this company with her mom. You're like, but she's like the momager. Fine. Okay, fine. in partnership with Seed Beauty, the company's first product, named Lip Kits, consisting of a liquid lipstick and lip liner, were released on November 30th, 2015. The first 15,000 lip kits were produced by Seed Beauty and funded by Jenner at a cost of $250,000. Whoa. Company was renamed Kylie Cosmetics in February of 2016, and production was increased to 500,000 kits. And let's keep going.
Let's look at some pictures here. This is what Kylie looked like at the end of 2013, and then 2014, and then 2015. She had normal lips in 2013, and then slowly they got bigger starting in 2014. And from 2013...
And you have Botox and filler. See, here's the thing. Okay. If you're going to say something mean about somebody, you better have your hands clean. You know, Bob Marley, y'all. Isn't he the one that said that? It's like, and I don't give a fuck. Shit, you could have duck lips from fucking Mars, okay? But don't do shit like this. It's so tacky.
2013 to 2015, when she was launching this makeup brand, launching this lip kit that was going to revolutionize makeup, she did not say anything about her fillers or any of the other cosmetic work that she had done on her face. Now, in late 2015, she did an interview with Teen Vogue, and she said, well, it seemed so personal, so I didn't think I needed to tell anyone about it. Quote, when I got my lips done, I literally told no one. I didn't tell my best friend or even the guy I liked at the time. I really thought that it was no one's business. My mom was super against it, but I begged her, and she finally let me do it. She had to beg because she was 16 years old when she got her lips done, so she needed Chris's consent. Afterwards, I thought that it was so...
Everybody knew Kylie had her lips done. Everybody knew that. We all have eyes. I don't know why we try to gaslight each other into thinking, well, she said she didn't. Nobody asked her because her publicist did not allow it, period. There was an episode where they had, it was like Kim and her, and she's like, are you going to talk about your lips? And she was like, I don't remember what she said, but she was like, you don't have to do it, but just if they ask, own it. And it's like, that's a personal thing. Remember when plastic surgery used to be taboo? It's like nobody's allowed Nobody's allowed any sort of privacy. Which I honestly don't know what the right or wrong thing is. But I just don't think she could have won either way. She could have said, love yourself, while she's getting her lips done, and then she looks like a hypocrite. Or she could be like, yeah, I have them done. And then forever, people will always comment about her lips. Well, guess what? When you stay silent, it seems like people do the latter. But you know, in my opinion, and this is just a hot take, I am not in PR. I don't know shit. For all I know, this could be horrible advice. So don't take it, Kylie. But what if you just told everybody to stop? Like, you know, she's shy, but it's like, why don't you just tell them what they're doing is wrong? Because it is it not? If my mom heard me or saw me type a nasty message like that on somebody's photo, even if it's a celebrity, she'd hit me with a bagel. Like, have some class.
Obvious that I didn't have to say anything. I never denied it because I always told my publicist no lip questions, so no one ever asked me. I never said I got them done, but I never denied it either. But people thought that I was such a liar. Well, you didn't overtly lie about it, but you were evading the question for years. And granted, like I said, she did get her lips done at 16. So give her some grace there. That's only right. It's important to have balance of nature. Balance of nature fruits and veggies is the most convenient way to get whole food ingredients daily. You know, like the kind of vegetables that actually count in your diet. Balance of Nature uses an advanced cold vacuum process that encapsulates fruits and vegetables into whole food supplements without sacrificing their natural antioxidants. Their capsules are completely void of additives, fillers, extracts, synthetics, pesticides, or added sugar. The only thing in Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie capsules are fruits and veggies. Balance of Nature helps our bodies obtain the necessary nutrients for proper functioning, and replacing deficient nutrients that you might have can increase energy levels and provide many other health benefits. I mean,
Guys, just eat the vegetables.
Imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and vegetables every single day to get those nutrients. It sounds miserable and time consuming. It's really not possible for most people. With Balance of Nature, there's never been an easier way to ensure that you are getting that.
Okay, I know it's an ad. What do you mean it's not possible for most people? What? It is possible. Make time for it. I love blending shit right now. It's my thing.
A daily dose of fruits and vegetables. Go to balanceofnature.com and use promo code Cooper for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Plus, you will get a free bottle of fiber and spice powder. Again, guys, that is balanceofnature.com, promo code Cooper today. Now, even though I'm giving her some grace, the point is, when you are launching a makeup brand, when your primary product is a lip kit, and you are doing all of these advertisements with huge lips, the quintessential Kardashian Jenner pout, you're promising that your makeup will make people's lips look like yours with just the right kind of filler, just the right kind of overlining, while simultaneously not telling people that you got filler conveniently right before you launched your lip kit. That is the problem. That is how you lied to people. It was the unethical insinuation that you're
I literally remember her going on multiple platforms saying, when people were like, so Kylie Cosmetics, why did you start the company? And she's like, I always was really insecure about my lips. And so I started to overline them, and I overlined them with my sisters. She wasn't lying. Did she get filler later? Yes. But guys, we gotta teach kids that it's probably filler. It's like, my mom taught me that. And my mom's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. I remember going up to my mom, why don't I look like her? Not to mention, Kylie Jenner has talked about some really deep stuff when it comes to like her looks and becoming a mom. And she talks about how she regrets doing it because now that she has her daughter and she has her ears or something, she's like, I would hope she never touches her body because I love that stuff about her. So I've heard moms say this, and I think I remember my mom saying something like it, like wait until after you have kids to get any work done. And when I was younger, I used to think like, oh, it's because what? I'm sagging and I got to perk it back up. But no, it's like because the things that you worry about now, you see them in your kids who you think are perfect. Why would you want to touch anything about yourself? You know what I mean? So I don't know anybody. I don't know one celebrity that has said something like that. That's like a really cute thing, you know?
lips went from A to Z with just your own products rather than a cosmetic procedure.
Beautiful.
And you sold young women on that for years. For years. We all became insecure about our lips because we didn't have yours. That's why people were rushing to the store to buy the Kylie lip kit because they thought they could look like you thanks to your makeup. Come to find out, all we needed was a Calabasas plastic surgeon to look like you, and millions of dollars. Now, for the past week since that video of her went viral, Reddit has been lit up about this. One person,
I can't stop, Brett, because of your energy and how your eyebrows just go. And I'm not making fun of you. It's just like, like, I can just tell when you have Botox, okay? When you make faces and stuff, it's supposed to wrinkle. I don't care what genetics you have. It's like, dude, I get it. She it might have been like the people she works for, right? But still,
said she was going around in 2016.
It's like delusional to think that, oh, because I did it in this way and I'm against it, nobody would know. Like, no, bitch, no, not off the hook. Okay, you want to be mean girl? Hi, I'm Tori. And I'm a fucking cunt.
Making millions from those dry-ass liquid lipsticks because she was swearing up and down that her lips were natural and that teenage girls could also have her natural plump lips by buying these lip kits. Was she also a victim of modern beauty standards? Yeah, sure. But you can't just cry about this after you made billions. Literally, she became a billion.
Literally, people are crying about the fact that she got her lips done. And they're so pressed about the fact that she was insecure about it, took an insecurity and made it a multi-million-dollar business. And like, it sounds like you're pressed. Just saying.
millionaire from the lip kit, from capitalizing on other people's insecurities and expect them to side with you. Another person said, I do feel for her in a way, but also like, come on. She has set the most unrealistic beauty standards for women and then lies about it over and over again about all the procedures that she's had done to look like that. If you can't take the heat, then get out of the kitchen. Another girl said,
It's like people are they lack critical thinking. Where do you think Kylie thought, I want to get my body to look like this? Do you think she got out of the womb like, I want to look like a bug? No, it's whatever you're around, what's thrown in your face. Instagram was huge. Cinching your waist. What it was, Facetune, where there was an app before that, I don't remember the name of it, but Facetune. It's like, I want to be able to look like the Facetuned version of me. It's a collaborative effort. If it wasn't, then this would not be an issue every single fucking generation, but that's what happens.
yeah, I can't believe that my middle school self believed that if I just bought the lip kit, which I did, SMH, my lips would look like her lip filler lips. You ruined your face, Kylie, womp womp. I'm sure Kylie ruined a lot of other faces by her influence. I mean,
What is wrong with you? Not her. I know she wasn't the one that said it, but like, listen to how much empathy people lack. It's not.
and people are not holding back. There's obviously a lot of anger, a lot of hurt that they're feeling about the Kardashian influence. And to be fair, I do genuinely think that this is something that Kylie is grappling with. For instance, last year, also on their Kardashian Hulu show, she broke down while talking about getting a boob job at age 20 and said, obviously, I have a daughter too. I would be heartbroken if she wanted to get her body done at 19. She is the most beautiful thing ever. I want to be the best mom and best example for her. And like, I wish I could be her and do it all differently. I wouldn't touch anything. And last year, we did a whole episode about this. We can link it below. And again, I'm sure that a lot of this is genuine because having children, especially having a daughter as a woman, changes you. But the thing is, since she said that on their show, she has still been getting filler. She has still been getting her lips done and allegedly even
Prove it. It's like you couldn't tell that she had filler back then. Why? Because you were a few years younger? But now suddenly you're the expert. Filler literally is not supposed to, well, it was supposed to dissolve, but we learned it doesn't dissolve all the way. I think we are so, I don't know what the word is. We're pushed so much of like the explore page, Instagram ideal, even like zoomorphia or whatever they called it, where it's like you get body dysmorphic disorder just from looking at yourself on Zoom all day after the pandemic. It's like the aging process accelerates for those that have been online longer. Yes, like aging in general, it's a gravity pulls, right? Like it happens to all of us. But we know that the younger generation is having an even harder time about it. You know? It's like, are you sure that she's just pumping her face with it? Or is it when every time you see her come out, she looks a little bit different? The only way to get people to stop picking women's looks apart, if you will, even men, and like men having to be this Greek god body, which is unrealistic unless you want to go on steroids, which you shouldn't. Okay, those are illegal. Until we stop putting energy to it, which granted, I'm making this video. Okay, I am literally a part of the problem, but I'm trying to hopefully move the message in a different direction. But the more that we talk about it, the more that it lives, you know? Like, do you think other countries are like this? I was just reading about France in particular. I got stuck in the French airport. It was so fun. But I made friends, but literally last year. But like the French, they like to say things like, oh, we're so natural. We do things the natural way. No, they don't. They have the same spike in plastic surgery numbers that America has. Okay. I think we just got to be honest. Just be like, yeah, I feel like I want to look like the explore page face. Okay. I don't know why. Do you think that it should be mandatory psychological evaluations? I always think about this conversation because I had my boobs done. Okay. tatas. And I remember asking my doctor, like, do you ever get, I don't remember the way that I worded it. Like, how do you know when it's okay to work on somebody or when you send them to like a psychologist or whatever? And I thought that was like a normal question to ask. And he literally was like, I never had anyone ask that. But usually the way to tell, at least for me or whatever he said, was like, if you come in and you absolutely can't stand the way your body looks every day, no matter what mirror you look into, it's like the wrong doctor is gonna be like, I can make money off this patient. But like other doctors are like, we probably should wait. We probably shouldn't do it. I'm just like, so I passed. And he was like, yeah, you only were like, like kind of don't like the way I look in a bikini, but I'm still go to the pool. Like, you know. And it's so hard to figure out like what's right, what's wrong, what's pathological, what isn't. But I always thought that was really helpful. And I remember reading that you needed to be careful if you ever get work done because you'll forever want to get things done. And it is so true. It's so true. And it's like really easy to not do it because especially if you don't have the money for it. But damn, when you get older, you kind of look and you're like, well, should I have? Because everybody's so concerned with the aging thing. Do what you want to do that makes you feel good, okay? If you're going to get a facelift, wait for the sag, okay? Wait for the jowls. Okay. Let's keep.
Though this isn't confirmed, she got a new boob job just this year, like right before the Met Gala. And on top of that, she's done the press circuit multiple times over the last few years saying that she's going natural, she's dissolving her lip filler. I mean, 2018, 2020, 2024. I mean, how many times can you go through this whole process of dissolving it and starting over and then dissolving it again, giving the same talking points about being natural and how
You're supposed to get it dissolved so you don't put bad filler on top of filler. You could have the same amount in your mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, Brett. Stop being a bitch.
the old Kylie's back. And at the end of the day, I really don't care what you do with your face or your lips, but the right path forward would to be as genuine and upfront with your audience as humanly possible, because you can't change what you said in the past or what you didn't say or what you denied or the fact that your lips caused a 70% uptick in lip fillers in the 2000s.
Do you not notice this face? Okay. If you are surprised, you must wrinkle. Like, you look like a hypocrite. It's going to bite you in the ass.
Any of that. But in 2024, as a mom, as somebody who still has a massive influence, you could acknowledge this influence you have and the fact that you probably wielded it incorrectly or irresponsibly as a young person, and that you want to change that moving forward. I mean, you were 16, 17, 18 years old when all of this started. It is okay to say, I didn't know, I made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Maybe be open about your own insecurities.
She can't. She's Kylie Jenner. Okay, she can't win. I think she should tell people to fuck off. She should clap back, actually. But it's probably like too trashy to do that. I'll do that.
Reason why you continue to get work done year after year. That is a much healthier and much more honest strategy than crying on camera every couple of months and pointing the finger back at the women who were desperately just trying to look like you and felt let down after they realized that it was all fake.
Okay, if you get let down because you believe that a celebrity's face came from the womb, you have problems. Okay, nobody owes anybody an apology. I don't care if they're a creator. I don't care if they're a celebrity, not a celeb. Nobody owes anybody anything. And I don't know where we got to this point where we have to say, you owe it to them, you know? It's like, no, you don't. Unless, I guess you could make the case if somebody was like, became a celebrity later, but like, Jesus, we know that she's gotten dragged. Like, people need to be mindful. Things like that cause people to off themselves. Like, it is serious. And I just think you cannot win. I just wish people saw it from both sides.
Like, there is a reason to fix this. You need to move forward. You need to be honest. Hey guys, Brett here.
Your generation actually is very successful, very creative, started a lot of companies, culturally creative.
True, Sam.
And all that kind of comes to a screeching halt in the early 2010s.
True.
That's the dividing line. It's puberty in the early 2010s. That's what separates your generation from Gen Z.
So if I was going through puberty, age 13, let's say, and I was born 10 years later in 1999.
Yeah.
What would my life be like then?
Right. So let's just trace out the timing of it. So suppose you were born in 1999. That's about the third year. You know, Pew says Gen Z begins with 1997. Gene Twenge says it's 1995. I think 97 is too late, but most people. So I just say 96. That's
Okay.
In my book I just say 1996 is the beginning of Gen Z. So if you're born in 1999, the iPhone comes out when you're turning 8, but you don't have one because it's expensive, and no 8-year-olds have phones anyway. And then around 2 years later, around 2010, the iPhone comes out when you're 8. Yeah, 3 years later, 2010.
A woman's superpowers are youth, beauty, and sex. No. A woman's superpower is nurturing, kind, brings people together in tragedy, keeps people together.
That's the year that some of your older siblings would have been getting an iPhone. It's really 2010 to 2015 is when teenagers go from they all have a flip phone or a brick phone or Nokia, whatever, to they all have an iPhone. By 2015, I think it's 70% have an iPhone or a smartphone. And so if you were born in 1999,
Guys, it's okay for you. I'm not saying you shouldn't find Brett attractive. Of course.
let's see, in 2010, you're 11. It's quite possible, probably at 11, back then, you wouldn't have an iPhone at 11. Now you would. Now you'd have it at 8 or 9. But back then, you wouldn't get it at 11. But by 13, you'd definitely get it. So you would have gotten an iPhone at 13. Now, girls start puberty a bit earlier. So for girls, 11 to 13 is this incredibly vulnerable period. It's completely insane that we let 11 to 13-year-old girls be on social media talking with complete strangers and comparing them. I mean, it's horrible.
Why is it an especially vulnerable time?
So puberty, I have a whole chapter on puberty. I didn't intend to write it, but as I was writing the book, I realized, wait, puberty is so important. People have to understand. Puberty is a period of reward.
Guys, this is where the interesting stuff comes. So if you ever watch content and you're like, I don't really feel like this is doing it for me, and you're like older or whatever, wait till you hear about why it's a vulnerable period. Period. I was like, oh, play on words. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff.
Wiring of the brain. So a lot of animals are born with a form for childhood. And the most extreme case is butterflies. So, a caterpillar is designed to eat leaves, but a caterpillar can't fly. So the caterpillar is the child form, and then it goes through a metamorphosis in it, and it comes out as a butterfly.
I have that book in my room somewhere. I wish I was a butterfly. It's a beautiful children's book.
That's an incredible transformation. With humans, it's not quite that dramatic, but it actually, psychologically, actually it is. A child is very playful. It has a certain kind of intelligence, but, really, kids are pretty stupid about most things. They just don't know much, and their brains are just beginning to wire up. And so there's a child form, which is optimized for being small and not needing too much food, and slow growths that you have time to learn your culture. Human childhood is really different from every other species.
Guys, what are your favorite ways? That was a good point. What are your favorite ways to increase neuroplasticity? Go.
Even other primates. Other primates just grow and grow and grow until they reproduce. Humans grow and grow until they're 5, like 3 or 4. I forget where it stops.
So weird.
And then they grow really slowly. Freud called that the latency period, sort of 6 to 10. A lot is going on in that period, but the body isn't growing much, and the brain isn't growing. The brain reaches just about full size, 90%, by around age 6. So from 6 to, let's say, 12, 13 is a period of slow physical growth,
working out,
but massive cultural learning. Because we have our great evolutionary feature. We don't have sharp teeth. We're not as strong as chimpanzees, but we have the ability to learn from each other. No other animal can do that the way we can. That's our.
Isn't that crazy? Like half of our development is watching other people. So we would watch people at school. Online though, it never stops.
superpower. And so puberty is this biological period
Fairy
where the
tale.
brain is converting over from the child form to the adult form.
True.
You get you get huge numbers of neurons get removed, the ones that weren't necessary, the ones that didn't fire together, and of the ones that remain, complex circuits that are useful. Let's say for archery, if you do a lot of archery as a child, whatever it takes to be a good archer,
Wait.
those neurons from multiple parts of the brains.
I once did a whole thing. It was like a shoot for archery. That shit is not easy. That's no joke. Like, this shit's hard.
The axons will
Nobody's talking
myelinate
about
so that it becomes
like
sort of locked in as a
crossbow?
circuit that's quick and efficient.
Is this why the accent situation happens around that age? That if you come to
Exactly.
a country before?
That's right. That's right. So a finding that I've never forgotten from graduate school, I went to the University of Pennsylvania and I took courses from Lila Gleitman, Henry Gleitman, who were some of the leading psycholinguistics experts, was that, so for example, Henry Gleitman, he was a great psychologist at Penn. He had this incredibly heavy German accent. You know, he was Jewish. His family escaped from Nazi Germany when Henry was 14. And he had a younger brother who was 12. The younger brother had no accent. The younger brother was like, you know, native-born American, like, you know, New York, whatever it was, like totally American accent. And Lila said that the window begins closing. I think she said it begins closing around 8 or 9. And then by 13 or so, it's generally closed, meaning if you come at 14, it's too late.
That's why me and my sister have that, because we came from Russia.
Oh, okay. How old? And,
and
what
I
year?
was 6.
So how old were you?
I was 6.
Yeah.
No accent.
Right, no accent.
Her, 15.
Yep.
Accent.
Perfect. That's exactly
Yeah.
it. That's exactly it. Okay. So now then the question, what gets super interesting is, okay, it's clear for accent. How about just like being American? Like, because there's a study that I discussed by,
Hi, Jack.
what's her name? Namora? No, it's, I forget. Minora, in which they looked at Japanese families that brought their kids to America in the 70s, as a lot of Japanese businesses were moving over here. And she found, she found that it was sort of from like, I think it was like 8 or 9 to 15 was the window within which if you were here then, you go back to Japan, you still kind of feel American. You picked up some of that. Whereas if you were 15 when you came over, you never feel American. You go back to Japan, you feel perfectly Japanese. So what is it with you? Do you feel Russian?
Not at all.
Not at all. Does your sister feel Russian?
She probably feels more Russian than I do.
Yeah. She would have those intuitions, those sort of feelings about ways of speaking or social relation. Right. So there you go. So that's a great example of why puberty is so important. And that's why most cultures traditionally, and hunter-gatherer cultures, traditional cultures, they almost all have initiation rites. How do you take a child and make it an adult? But it's always gendered. How do you take a girl and make her a woman who can be a mother and a wife and a gatherer and all the things that women do in that society? How do you take a little boy, who's weak and hanging out with the girls? How does he become a warrior in a society that is warlike? And so you have initiation rites. You have adults guiding the process, teaching them, sharing with them the sacred wisdom, the secret rites, all that. And what we've done in modern times is, for 100 years, we got rid of all that. But even still, kids still had a lot of experience with adults. Kids still, spent time with their parents, or they listened to them, or, and they watched television, which was made by adults. And it used to have intense moral lessons. You watch shows from the 1950s or movies from the 30s, they're really moralistic. So kids are getting in lessons about honesty and courage and duty
Crazy.
and, all those things. So kids are still being socialized even by.
You know what? They used to get episodes on honesty, courage. What do they get now? What are some shows that your kids like to watch? Like, what's the thing right now? What are the vibes?
And mass media. And then what would have happened to you if you were born in 1999?
You want to know how you can make real good money on YouTube? Okay. You start making children's content. No joke. No joke. If you're good at like creating stories and filming it with like special effects and bubbles and stuff, they're killing it. Killing it. And then kids will recognize you in public. Okay, listen. Okay. fame should never be your thing. But if little kids, come on, they think you're like a superhero. They just think it's so cute.
Is instead of
Baby fever.
getting all that, instead of getting, I watched Bugs Bunny, which was made by my grandparents' generation,
What's up, Doc?
Instead of getting that intergeneral transmission, if you were born in 1999, let's say you got on Instagram in 2013. So 2012 is the big year. Facebook buys Instagram. Instagram comes out in 2010. That's the year when a lot of girls move on to Instagram, 2012. And 2013 is actually when the mental health crisis begins. But if you moved on, let's say you moved in 2013, because let's say you're 14 years old. You're a slightly late adopter because you're a boy. You're not as into it. Well, 14 is actually.
Everybody, put your age in the chat. I want to know how old everybody is or how young. Okay, 70 is the new 60.
Right. That's really early puberty for boys. So girls, it's 11 to 13 is this critical age when they're starting. Boys, it's more like 12 or 13 to 15.
30.
So you would be right in your most sensitive period of changing from
58.
boy to man,
30.
receptive to
12.
signals about how to be a man. And now you're not getting, Westerns with tough guys shooting guns and being stoic. You're getting
Okay, everybody's like 35, 47, 50, 58. I keep having these moments where I feel like life goes by way too fast. And I then step into my dad's shoes. He was born in 1950. So he's like, oh my God, his birthday. I think he's going to be 75. No way. Or 74. I don't know. It's crazy. My dad was voted most attractive in high school, baseball player and a greaser. Okay, killing it. But anyways, I keep having these moments where I'm like, damn, my parents had kids when they were a lot later, but I'm just like, damn, my mom was like 33 when she started having us. Guys, I'm 29 and I feel so behind in life. It's going by so fast that you're telling me I'm going to be at my dad's age in like a blink of an eye. Does it feel fast? Be honest, but don't scare me. Okay, put some wisdom in it. I'm scared.
reels and reels
I know aging is a privilege, but like missing out on moments, that's what like kills me.
of
When I was bartending, we were not allowed to take off on holidays. We worked every single holiday. So it's like, damn, all of the holidays that I missed, because you only get your parents for like a quarter of your life.
YouTube videos, either of like super macho male influencers telling you how to
Spell
trick
check
women,
username.
or maybe you're getting
I
mental
know it's not, for some reason it autocorrects to toe.
illness. YouTube about how everything is,
pathology.
Everything is pathology, everything is oppression. So you're being socialized by random weirdos on the internet who have no particular wisdom, most of them. They were selected by algorithm for their extremity, people who are just influencers. I would see you as an influencer in a sense, but you're an influencer in the sense of you actually did something. You accumulated some knowledge and now you're trying to share it. But like most of the people that the kids are watching, they're just other young people who just got famous for.
You know what hack I learned? Okay, tell me if you think this is true. If you feel like your life is going by really, really fast, the trick to it is traveling. Not travel to like Europe or travel outside of Europe and that stuff, but adding in more trips, even if you're just flying to Vegas for a weekend, it slows your life down. It's like one hack. I forget. I think it was Meg Robbins. What was her name? Mel Robbins maybe said it. I don't know, but it's so true. When I would do back-to-back shows, Vegas, Access Vegas, Fresh and Fit and that stuff, I feel like my life was going by a lot slower in a good way.
Doing something on Instagram, on social media.
Back to the conversation in
Topic
just
one.
a second, but first, I want to talk to you about Ground News, an app
Camp.
and website that gathers related articles from around the world in one place so you can easily compare coverage. As Dr. Haidt and I have been discussing, social media can have a dramatically negative impact on
good.
your mental health, often because of the hyper-targeted info algorithms are constantly feeding you. The algorithm
it's
does a
all the
great job
driving.
serving you clips from comedians you like or sports
I traveled cross country, homeless, while living in my car. Okay. unintentionally homeless. But yeah, I love driving. It's a good idea. Maybe I should fix my rotors. Okay. Man, all new tires after 3 months. But like, I need rotors. Like, it's not good. No. And I have to, oh my God, I have to replace the blower motor. I always call it a blower motor. I don't know if that's what it's called, the air conditioning. I literally jinxed myself. I was like, yeah, I had to fix it in my Mercedes ML350. And then boom, I turned the car on. I was like, why are you blowing lukewarm air? Okay, it's been off for a while. Maybe it just needs to recharge. Dad, will you charge it? Do that thing. And then he's like, all right, you're good. And I was driving. I was like, we're not good. Okay. I don't know if this is the moment that I'm supposed to take the thing off and just leave the needle off. I was like, no, we did that when it wasn't blowing at all. We're fucked. Like, God damn it. And I keep seeing this car that I really want that's so much cheaper than the car I have now, but it's too small. I have 2 dogs.
You enjoy, but it can become really problematic when it comes to the news it serves you.
Anybody got a Mercedes CLA 250? I need parts, okay? Bad.
That's where Ground News comes in. They aggregate news stories around a particular subject to give you an idea of exactly how it's being covered by a variety of news outlets. For example, the state of Florida has recently passed a law restricting social media use for children. This is a highly controversial move, and with Ground News, I can see exactly how it's being covered by differing news outlets. I can then see how many articles have been written about the story, what their biases are, how factual the outlets are. There's so much this app can do to make sure that I have a well-rounded and nuanced understanding of the news. As Jonathan Haidt said on the last podcast, nuance is a superpower. And I think Ground News is kryptonite to misinformation spreading online. Not sure if that metaphor works, but you get it. Visit ground.news/Dr. Mike or just click the link in the description to get 40% off the unlimited access event.
Break the sound barrier. You're going so fast, the noise is behind you. There is no noise ahead of you because you're beyond your sound. You're leaving your sound behind. And the same way, change is now so fast that we're leaving behind everything that we ever learned, everything we ever knew. And so just an example of the way change is so fast that I don't think we're going to adapt to it is, people say, oh, well, social media is new, we'll adapt to it. Like, no, there's no time, because within 2 years, our kids are going to have so many AI people in their lives. Like a hammer is a tool. That's great. A calculator is a tool. I'm not against tools and technology. But there's a huge difference between having a calculator and having a friend who will do things for you. And you can say to this friend, tell me a story, or I want to talk to you about my day, or can you go, get me this thing, or subscribe to this magazine, whatever. So we already have.
Yeah, but you have to know how to prompt everything in the most effective way possible. I bet you Gen Z can get ChatGPT to be way more thorough. I bet you. Do you guys know if you're nice to ChatGPT, like saying manners, please and thank you, you get better outcomes? Who knew? Be nice to your bots. You never know if we're going to have a rococo basiliac thing. And if you're over the age of 29 and you're like, Tori, what the fuck is rococo basiliac? Let's just say that's how Grimes and Elon Musk started dating. But like, don't look into it. Just don't. I'm warning you. Don't. I feel like I'm like the chain mail from like the 2000s. It's like, you're gonna look. Okay, it is time to go to bed, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. I need recommendations. Like, what are you guys watching? I don't know if you know this. I know my mods are aware. Oh my God, the voice crack. But where it says what you guys are watching on my end, like, here are the channels you're watching. It somehow went from 9 channels just listed to 3. And it's 3 channels that were never in the top spots before. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I can hypothesize, but are you guys unsubscribing from some people or something? What's going on? What are you guys into right now? Right now I'm back on my like free will determinist thing. So that's fun. I'm also on the religion thing. But yeah. I'd like to stay away from political topics. So if you guys have good entertainment, even if it's TikTok, put it down there. Put it in the comments below. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Go to bed. Wear sunscreen.